Hey guys, so this is the chapter 7 through 13 questions that were asked. There were only 3 of them submitted. So I'm just going to go over those really quick for you guys. So question 1 was, could we go over what the final project is going to be, just as a reminder if you haven't already? So I mentioned a lot of stuff at the beginning of the unit, just kind of I handed out to you guys the expectations and the instructions, but um, I just posted earlier a video that walked through the idea of theme and theme statements. So if you guys could please watch that, that would be helpful. I can see that not everyone is watching the videos, so if you guys can make sure to be doing so, that would be fantastic. So question 1 is already done for you. Question 2 was, why was it that Linda made Brave New World a fictitious place to John, and why didn't that cause more confusion to him when he found out it wasn't? And I tried to go back through the chapters to figure out why this student thought that it was presented as a fictitious place. And I thought I found maybe the spot where that could have happened. But in reality, Linda would just talk about the other place, right? And she would talk about this other place that she was from, and she would describe the things that world was like, and she would describe the technology, she would describe the customs, she would describe the habits. And I think that there was never the implication that it was fake, or that it was made up. But I do think that there was a part where John talked about how this world was like, to him, in a way, kind of just as maybe as fantastic, maybe the word is, as other worlds that he read about, or the religious places and planes that he learned about in his spiritual education. And I think that that comes from the fact that it was just a place that was so unfathomable to him. And so when he first meets Bernard and Lenina, he's like, "Oh, you must be from the other place." And when they ask him to go to London, he's like, "Yeah, sure." Like he's like, "Oh yeah, I've dreamt of London before in previous times," is what it says. So I don't think that it was ever presented as fictional. I do think that it was just hard for him to comprehend this completely different lifestyle. And so it seemed fantastic, is maybe what happened. But when Bernard and Lenina show up, he's not surprised that they're there because, he has books from his mom or a book from his mom about that time. He has her talking about London, her talking about flying, her talking about the way that babies were born and hatched and stuff. So I don't think that he was surprised because he had grown up his entire life hearing about it. And so there was no confusion for him. And then the last question 3, is when John talks about going to London and calls it the Brave New World, he references Miranda. Who and what the heck is Miranda? So remember at the beginning, I may have mentioned, I think I mentioned to you guys that the title of the book comes from a Shakespeare quote from The Tempest. And Miranda is the character in the Shakespeare play, The Tempest, who says this. It's about this man and his daughter who are like marooned on an island, basically, and they live there together with just a few of the natives. And so she's lived there most of her life, and she's 15, I think, and she's lived most of her life on that island, only knowing the natives and her father. And then some other people are shipwrecked there, and when she sees them, she's like, "Whoa, other people!" Like, and then she says, like, "What, this brave new world that has such people in it," right? And she's talking about like the differences and beauty of others, and how there's so much more to the world than she's ever seen, right? So that is that. If you were interested in learning more about it, you can always just look up a summary of the play, The Tempest by William Shakespeare, or you guys could look up the play. It's online. You can find text of it if you want to read it, or you can maybe even find videos of it. I'm not entirely sure if there's anything on YouTube, maybe of people doing a video of it. But yeah, those are the 3 questions that were asked. So if you guys have any questions, just shoot me an email. I'd be happy to do a video conference with you guys to talk about any of the activities that you guys have to complete still, any of your confusion. Even though we're not meeting for school, just know that I am here for you. Um, and I'm assuming that you guys are all fine unless you tell me otherwise. So, all right, I hope you guys are doing well.